I gotta go get my cousin later on from the airport.
This is gonna be a little quick hitter. This is gonna be a little quick hitter because I got the Rugrats upstairs and they'll be down here. I promise you, they're gonna be down here fighting or something, bro. About to kick it off. I got one from I guess my I don't know. I say I'm live on Instagram. Hey, check my Instagram, see if it's live. Then we're gonna get right into it. I can never see that shit. I don't know. Maybe because it's my account, but they never show me that shit.
I don't see it.
I don't know why I do that.
Yeah, I don't say it in the notifications.
When you go to my page, like when you go to my page, you don't see nothing.
No, usually it had that live icon if you was
Right. I don't know what's up. Them boys upstairs going through it right now. I hear them. Come down here boxing, bro. I'm gonna go off on live TV. On live.
Damn, nigga, man, it's too much passing going on today. I just looked up and seen some reggae dude just pass.
It's crazy, man. My heart's dropping. All right, bro.
I'm ready.
Take this off. Let's go. Actually, so I always snap it off. I'm just gonna fade down. You know what I'm saying? Actually, no, I didn't even do it. Come on. All right. This is a impromptu main event marks show. We want to quickly just go over Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan dies at the age of 71. I haven't really found out what happened. I know, like, up last few weeks, some stuff has been going on. You know, I think somebody had put out a few days ago, last I heard, that he couldn't talk. Like he couldn't talk, something with his trachea or something like that. But we've heard all type of things going on. Maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, it came out that he was on the bed, on death's bed, and now we get the word that Hulk Hogan dies at the age of 71. This was about 2 hours ago, a little bit over 2 hours ago. Man. I want to come here, and I do want to say this. I have been critical of Hulk Hogan over the last some odd years for some of the things he said and done. We are here to talk about the character, not the person. We're going to respect the character. We're going to celebrate the character. We ain't going to celebrate the person, because the person, for lack of a better words, wasn't a good person. I ain't even going to say what I want to say, but whatever. I'm going to respect the character for what he has done for pro wrestling. I'm going to just go into what you want to say.
First off, condolences to the family. You know what I mean. Overall, of anything that has happened within the past, nor leading up to now. You know what I mean. No family want to go through that. So before I say anything, condolences to the family, and prayers is with y'all. Uh, man, the character alone, bro. I mean, is Hogan. You know what I mean. Like the originator, the innovator, he opened up the doors. He opened up the floodgates for the wrestling world. You know what I mean? We can't even escape that. Uh, you know, him and Andre breaking barriers with their matches, you know what I'm saying? And just all the history he done been able to make over the years, the NWO, like it's stuff we always gonna like, we ain't gonna never not gonna be able to look back and on wrestling and not say that Hogan hasn't been a part of something. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's for sure. Like anything as far as asterisks, moves, actions, taunts, whatever. You know what I mean? The famous like things I think about instantly, Booker T, the famous, we coming for you, you know what I'm saying? And just like, dude, like, it's crazy, man, to even deal with that right now, and the wave been in threes for sure. when it
Right.
comes to this, just not even expecting it to be Hulk Hogan. And I had been keeping up with him too because him and Eric Bischoff just had came together and they was about to drop that, the wrestling thing. And I had
Mm-hmm.
seen that. I'm like, all right, what y'all got going on? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And man, it explains why now. I seen that information you just spoke on about somebody had posted something and they said that he couldn't speak at least like a week ago, if
Right.
not 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't say nothing. He was knocking on the door then. So that explains why we didn't see him after the fact. But we all know, what I'm saying, what he done said and what he done got involved in. But overall, as far as marquee, if it ain't got Hogan level on it, which we'll never probably ever see again, as
You'll
far as
never see it again, bro.
you know what I'm saying, the way the game is now, we'll never see nothing like that ever again. So once again, big ups to Hogan, man, for even leaving that mark on the game like he did.
I won't go into that type of detail with it. Well, I mean, I like I said, I'm gonna respect the character. I
Hmm.
can't respect the person for some of the stuff he's been involved with and some of the
Yeah.
stuff he said. Like some of the stuff he said was bad. So
Hell
I'm not
yeah.
gonna talk about the person. I'm gonna talk about the character. I've said. I mean, I grew up a Hogan fan, but later in my years, I was not a Hogan fan. So I'm gonna keep it at the character. And while I'm in there and I'm talking about the character, I will say this: I can't think of one person in any medium who was so influential at bringing something to the mainstream. And I can go through music, rap, rock, rap, anything. If there's no Hulk Hogan, if there's no Hulk Hogan, none of this shit exists. We would not be doing a podcast right now. I could tell you that now. I
Promise you.
wholeheartedly believe we would not be having a wrestling podcast if Hulk Hogan didn't exist. He is that influential. The
Hmm.
next I would say is Vince McMahon, but that's too. It's too few and far between because Vince McMahon did not create Hulkamania. Hulkamania was alive in
Right.
AWA. He took he took Hulkamania, put it under the WWE banner, and then we had shit like WrestleMania. We got stuff like, it's just so many Hogan moments, man. There's a list of Hogan moments that transcends just wrestling. When Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant, which is probably the biggest moment in WrestleMania history, that
Ever.
was mainstream. That
Fact.
was mainstream. That was breaking news at the time. That was something everyone talked about because it was Super Bowl level. It was beyond uh, Super Bowl level media attention and coverage. That right there put wrestling on the map. That made WrestleMania. We would not be having WrestleManias. There would be no Monday Night Wars. You can make a case there would be no Attitude Era of the WWE without Hulk Hogan because there will be no Stone Cold. Stone Cold created. I would say Stone Cold created the Attitude Era. That's when Attitude Era really took off.
Yeah.
But how could you have a Stone Cold if WWE's back wasn't against the wall when it came to Hulk Hogan becoming the third member of the NWO? That's how there has never been anyone, and it's crazy because I'm watching a new. This is all over the news. This is
Yeah, it's everywhere,
almost
man.
everywhere. It's flooded my timeline by non-wrestling fans.
Man.
You can't think of a wrestler that's that popular. Like you said before, no one would ever make it this big as a like Hulk Hogan can go anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anyone will recognize him. You
He
could
like a
say The
Snoop. He
Rock.
like a Snoop Dogg for real.
He's yeah, yeah. The Rock you can kind of put on there too, but Rock was already kind of famous in the WWE, and he took off from there.
Right.
Hogan made it like Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant put wrestling
Cat
on the map, and
Caterpillar.
yeah, it catapulted it. And you can honestly say that you can honestly say that wrestling would not be. We wouldn't even. Wrestling may have died. Pro wrestling could have died or still been in the territories, not making it anywhere close to mainstream and popularity as it is now without Hulk Hogan.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm gonna say. I got some Hulk Hogan moments right here. I wrote them down. Um, top 10 Hulk Hogan iconic moments. The first one is the one I just mentioned. Him body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania. You remember leading up to that? I don't know if you young enough. I don't even think you were born. This was like around 84.
It was like, no, that's was it that
No, no,
early?
no. It was
No, 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 no. It was a little later than that.
yeah, a little bit. It was in the 80s, late 80s.
I want to say like 89, almost 90. Cause
Hold on.
I was
I'm gonna look it up.
88. I was born in 88. And I
Give
think
me
that might have happened a little bit before, if not right after.
1987. It was 1987.
1987. Yep, yep.
So I remember this. I remember this. I remember watching it. I don't remember how I watched it. I remember watching it live. The whole house was watching that moment. Um that moment. And you remember leading up to them, he tried the body slam. I think it was a Saturday night main event where he tried to body slam Andre the Giant and couldn't do it.
Hmm.
And everybody was sad, and that's when you really thought Hulk Hogan ain't getting that belt back from Andre.
Right.
And WrestleMania came, and it was just the biggest wrestling event. Nothing could top that, and it happened. And here's the thing: that wasn't the best match on the card. You still on that card had Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the
When did
Dragon Steamboat,
Ricky Dragon Steamboat was
which
on that
stole the
card?
show, but
Man.
which would have stole the show. I'm sorry, which would have stole the show if it wasn't for Andre the Giant getting body slammed by the immortal Hulk Hogan. You can't top that biggest thing ever in wrestling, and that will never be topped. And this is why we're talking about the loss of Hulk Hogan now. Another iconic moment: the formation of the NWO, which is something most people never saw coming. Hulk Hogan turning heel. Hulk Hogan is nobody would ever have the balls to take Hulk Hogan, who was still at that time a huge name, the biggest name in pro wrestling at that time, making selling all type of merchandise, telling kids to eat their vitamins and say their prayers and shit like that, and you
Hmm.
turn that man heel. Huge, huge. It's not as big as
Still.
him. Yeah, it's not as big as him slamming Andre the Giant, but it's still huge. What do you think of that?
Bro, that's at the top of the list, bro, with heel turns, bro. You feel me? Like, if you gonna turn heel, it gotta hit like that. Like exactly how John Cena just did it. Now I ain't gonna say that one had as much strength as Hogan's did, but they definitely went and got inspired from that because ain't no damn way you can pull any kind of heel turn off if you don't go study that. Like Hogan, and I, me personally, bro, I was watching something the other day on this. This is what's even weird about all this stuff, man. Like, I was just watching something on this the other day, and they were saying that they got sent over there to WCW on purpose to do that. You know, got sent over there as a group like that to go tear that down, so Vince can come in there and snatch it up.
I don't believe
But
that.
the
I
way,
don't
but
believe it.
yeah, like the way it went, like I'm
Mhm.
like, nah, I'm like Hogan went over there belligerently to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like to Vince.
They literally tried to end WWE,
Yeah, yeah,
WWF
that's
at
what
the
that
time. They
was.
tried to end that, like that. WWW before Stone Cold did what he did with, we always talk about it on every episode of the main event marks. We go back to it and we talk about how Stone Cold started his Stone Cold run, as the leader of the I'm about to say ruthless aggression, no, the Attitude Era.
Hmm.
Um, Hulk Hogan would have never done that. I mean, Stone Cold would have never done that. They were back against the wall. They were facing bankruptcy. WWE was facing bankruptcy, and WCW forced their hand. They had the backs against the wall. What is somebody with their back against the wall going to do? They're going to fight harder, and that's how we
Mm-hmm.
got the Attitude Era. That's because of Hulkamania. That's because of Hollywood Hogan. That's because of Hulk Hogan going over to WCW, and Vince facing bankruptcy. Do what we got to do. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's the second biggest moment Hulk Hogan has had. My third biggest moment, winning his first WWF championship. Uh, Here is a little quiz. Who do you think that was up against?
Uh, wasn't that against it wasn't against Andre the it wasn't
No,
against
no.
no, it wasn't against Andre the Giant.
This was like 3 years before he he he. Andre had the belt, so Hogan won the belt off of Andre. That was his second reign. When he beat Andre. But who
Macho?
did he?
It
No,
wasn't
not
no,
Macho
it
Man.
wasn't Macho Man.
Macho
Macho
Man.
Man came
Yeah,
after.
yeah. I was about to say
That was WrestleMania what, two?
so. This was Iron Sheik. He won his first
Iron Sheik.
the Iron Sheik.
Damn it. I was
That was his.
man.
That would have been his first WWF championship.
That's
Uh,
when they was having matter of fact, that's when they was having the wars when I made it seem like
yeah,
yeah,
hmm
yeah.
yeah.
And Iron Sheik was with Koloff, wasn't he? At the time, wasn't
He
he? Wasn't he
it was
partners with
something
them?
going on. It was something. It was something with that, but no, it was. I mean, you think you had was it General Adnan? I can't really. Yeah, he did come out there with someone, but yes,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's first championship, and I want to say he won it at Madison Square Garden, which is a huge thing too, because all the history WWE had at the time with Madison Square Garden uh, via Bruno Sammartino,
Hmm.
always performing at Madison Square Garden. So that was his. I mean, Hulk Hogan has had so many huge moments to bring him to where he was in the annals of WWE and pro wrestling history. Um, Here is one of my favorite moments. My fourth moment. Here's one of my favorite moments. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania. Oh goodness.
I want to
Oh
say I was
man.
like in the 20s.
WrestleMania might have been
Might have been
WrestleMania
20.
20. No, 28. No,
Yeah, let me
WrestleMania
see.
18. What am I talking about? 28. WrestleMania 18. Now, the reason that was so special to me, I've never seen anything like it. We've all seen that, whatever happens in the ring may whatever happens in the ring. I mean, anything can happen in a ring. That's the best way to say it.
Facts.
Anything can happen in a ring. And at that point in time, Hogan was a heel. He was Hollywood Hogan. And you had The Rock, who was Superstar Rock. And
Hmm.
during that match, the crowd turned. The crowd turned, whereas the crowd became more sympathetic to the supposed heel, Hogan, and more apathetic towards The Rock, who
Hmm.
was supposedly the babyface. But they had to get together in the ring and say, what the fuck is going on? And I don't know who called it. Now, it was probably the genius of Hulk Hogan or Hollywood Hogan at the time to say, listen, we got to do a double turn. We got to do a double turn on the fly. And they called it. And if you watch that match, go back. If there's any match you want to watch,
Watch
because
that one.
we all know what happened with Andre the Giant and Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan. When you try to watch that now, it's kind of hard to watch. I mostly when I do watch it, it's just for the crowd reaction and just how big an event that was. That
Right.
was just looking at it, that was just not a really good technical match
Yeah,
at
that wasn't
all.
it
It
at
was
all.
slow. It was because Andre. Well, no, I mean Andre was old, man. Like Andre
And
couldn't do
look
anything.
at him,
Like
bro.
he
He
was
big
leaning
as
on.
hell.
Yeah, and he was old. He had all type of health problems. He was leaning up
Right.
against the ropes. He couldn't stand up straight. But if you want to watch a really good match that had tons of psychology, you can literally see the fans turn on The Rock and embrace the heel Hollywood Hulk Hogan on the fly. And that right there, when you watch that match, you see the genius of Hogan. You see you see the genius of Hogan. You see the admiration for Hulkamania. It is a crazy match to watch. Those who are watching this, And those, when I do clip this up, uh, when I do clip this up, and you want to watch a Hulk Hogan match, Rock versus Hogan, WrestleMania 18, I promise you won't be disappointed. And just try to see where you can identify where the crowd switched, and for them to call it on the fly, not get scared, not get, lose their composure or totally fuck it up. They
Hmm.
took it and made it better than the original plans for that match. So
Man, you can only
that was
do that
amazing.
when you're a goat.
Yep. Let me see. Return to hold on. Am I skipping something? Return to WWE for his Hall of Fame. That was a big thing. I thought that was overdue. I wouldn't say long overdue, but that was overdue.
Yeah.
Him coming back to the WWE. Of course, there's been some other things, uh, in between that where he had to keep coming back and things like that. He got into some trouble. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about the person, uh, Terry Bollea. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan, the character. Winning his first, number 6, winning his first WCW title in 1994. Defeating Ric Flair at Bash at the Beach, which was a huge moment. You want to hear like a really crazy crowd pop? That was crazy. His time in WCW before he turned to Hollywood Hogan, people underestimate that. That was some
Yeah,
really
that
big
was
shit.
big, man.
That was some big shit. Like that was crazy to see Hulk Hogan on a different product, holding a other belt besides the WWE Winged Eagle, the Winged Eagle
Because
champion.
everybody got spoiled to seeing him over there at WWF, bro. And like you said, that it's all about the turn, bro. If it wouldn't have never made it, if he wouldn't have never made a character turn, we wouldn't be saying how iconic that moment was. Like
Right.
Hogan couldn't have went over there. It was like going out. It's like moving out of town and doing the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? He went left, instantly changed over everything, and I was like, oh shit, oh shit.
All right. So another moment. I don't know if you remember this one. This was and honestly, I should have put this further on. I mean, uh, more ahead on the list. But do you remember Hulk Hogan versus Mr. T
Hell yeah,
versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff
hell
at
yeah,
WrestleMania?
yes.
That was a huge. That was like it had to be 90 95 because I remember so much. I'm sorry, that had to be 85 because I remember so much that year. I remember Cubs coming off a really good year. I had only been like 6, but Cubs coming off a really big year. I think they went to the pennant. They played for the pennant. You had the Bears winning the Super Bowl, and like right after that, you had that crazy WrestleMania with Mr. T, with Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. Um, I don't remember much from that match. I remember just as a kid, just being in awe of. I think that's when I fell in love with wrestling. Right then and there, I fell
Seeing
in love
that
with
right
pro.
there, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's when I was like, yes, this is something I'm always going to be into.
Man,
What do you remember from that moment?
uh, being a little, about 4 years younger to that happening, but coming out and then, turning into a huge fan like I did. I went back and watched all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And bro, Paul Undorf, dude. I mean, you speaking to somebody right there. He was underrated to me as far as a wrestler, bro. Like he had that built like uh man, what's the Graham, Billy Graham, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
cats like that, man, that was they both got everybody got a pop too for some reason in that match. Like soon as the crowd seen him come out, like everybody
It
got
was a big. I
gratitude
mean, I
for him.
think that WrestleMania you had like Cindy Lauper and like
Yep, yep.
you had Fred. What not Fred Astaire? What was it? Dean Martin might have been in that one.
That's when
Frank
Andre
Sinatra.
the Giant choked the dude right at the thing,
Yeah,
right?
Bob Uecker. Yeah, he choked the shit out of Bob Uecker. That's when you had Liberace was in the ring.
Man,
It was
dude.
crazy. It was crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just like one of the memories, man. And like, you know, like I keep saying, we're gonna celebrate the character, and like that made me love professional wrestling. That
Facts.
right there, and I can't ignore that. As a wrestling fan, I can't ignore that. I could separate the person from the character. Most people
Hmm.
can't do that, and I'm not gonna get mad at people who can't do that.
Right.
When I'm, it's like when I think of that, like Heath Ledger versus the Joker. Like I don't really like Heath Ledger movies. You know what I'm saying? I'm really wasn't a fan of Heath Ledger movies, but I love the
Yeah.
role he played as the Joker. So we're looking at a character, and also some of the things he's done backstage that were
Yeah.
cool. Now he's done a lot of fucked up things backstage, but that's that Terry Bollea coming in there. Another wrestling moment. We're at the eighth one, and this is Hulk Hogan losing. Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior was probably the biggest. I mean, the biggest marquee. Like,
I
no,
got to
I can't
watch
say it.
that. I got to
I
watch
can't
that
say it.
live.
I can't say that because him and Andre was still bigger. But when you would look at the momentum Ultimate Warrior had, and Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan already at the pinnacle, and then them two clashing, that was great. And this might have been early '90s when that happened, and I was such an Ultimate Warrior fan. I wanted to see Hogan drop the title to him. I didn't think it was going to happen, and when it happened, um, I was ecstatic because, like I said, I was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. But at the same time, um, that's just another huge moment Hulk Hogan has been a part of.
Yeah. It was
And this,
real conflicting at that time too. Like,
mhm.
especially
Right, right. It's like
like
you
that was
feel
one of the
bad
most
that you like
right.
Ultimate Warrior so much because Hulk Hogan was the
And
man.
he was that guy, dude. Like, man, like I can say that for sure. I got to see that as a kid. I was like 4 or 5, maybe. I want to say 3 or 4, one of them ages. But man, that was back when floor model TVs was the deal.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
had,
Everybody
man,
crowd in front of the flow model, and you was lucky if you had color on that motherfucker.
right. And you had color. You was
Back in
man,
the day, boy, not
you was
everybody,
getting
not
a
every
little bit of
TV.
money.
You might one might have a little small color TV, but them floor models was
Right.
black and white.
Yeah, them floor
Um.
models. Yeah, you had that floor model color. Yeah, you got on. You was on.
All right. All right. So this is kind of piggybacking off when I was talking about what is this number? This is number 9. Well, this is um coming off just piggybacking off what I was saying about The Rock and The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18. If you remember, after that, the day after that, Monday Night Raw, I believe it was Monday Night Raw. Hulk Hogan comes out with the red and black again. So when you like I said, when before The Rock and Hogan came out, I mean before The Rock and Hogan had their match, only thing you saw Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hogan, black and
Right.
black and white. That's what you saw, and you knew at some point it was gonna happen, but when it did happen, the crowd went bananas, man. The crowd went crazy. I would say that's another huge moment in WrestleMania. I mean, in Hulkamania. Um, and another huge moment for Hulk Hogan. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Uh, and I think, a little bit shortly after that moment, that's when Nash and them decided to come back too.
No, no, no.
And
So they
see,
were already a part of this angle. They were
no,
already a
I'm
part
saying
of that
yeah,
angle.
but so this happened after the fact when they
So
had
this
met
when
up
this
with Triple
happened,
H and them.
right? When this happened and Hogan came back, red and no, I want to say they tried to attack Hogan after uh that Rock and Hogan match when Hogan lost. It was either
Hmm.
that or they attacked Hogan. Hall and Nash turned on Hogan. Maybe on a Monday Night Raw after that pay per view. I can't really
Hmm.
remember. I got to watch it. That's literally after I'm done doing this. So just to run everything down, we were having technical difficulties, which is why this live couldn't get out fast enough. Um, and while I was waiting, I came up with this list. I was trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Uh, I'm trying to because I got to take my son's places and things like that. So Um, I'm gonna find some time in the very first match, Hogan match I'm gonna watch is Hogan versus The Rock.
I'm about to go watch that here as
Watch
soon as
that
we
now.
get off. I'm not
I'm
even lying.
telling you, it's probably gonna be your second most memorable Hulk Hogan moment. It's that damn good.
Probably gonna
It
be
was like
Hogan matches
magic.
running all
It was
day over
it
here.
was like the crowd played a part in this WrestleMania because if the crowd didn't turn on The Rock and the crowd didn't embrace Hogan in that moment, it would not have been. It would have been a very bland ending to WrestleMania. All right,
Yeah.
my last one. Um, you remember the You remember the Mega Powers, right?
Hell yeah. Hogan and Macho.
Do you remember when they broke up over
Yes, over
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Bro, Macho Man was not playing about his chick. You understand? That's
Man,
one thing Macho Man didn't do. Is play about his wife, man.
man, go sit in the corner, Elizabeth. The men are talking. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he
Hey, I
was.
used to, man, being seeing this story now too, bro. Like they didn't say that he was literally being that crazy to her like that outside of the ring as much, you know what I mean? But man,
Nah,
the way
he
he
was
was
messed up.
doing,
He admitted it towards the end for him.
right?
Like he was. They was on that stuff, bro. I mean, you know they were
Yeah,
taking steroids. You know they were uh putting stuff up their nose. You know
oh
that
yeah,
happened. And that
going
can't be a
crazy.
good combination, bro. So he even both of them, I mean, well, more so Macho Man towards the end, I wasn't in
But
the right
nah,
place.
that moment was iconic though, bro.
It, it,
That was
it
one of the ones for me.
yeah. So I wanted to go through just my 10 most memorable moments, Hulk Hogan moments, and just even doing that. And I'm kind of glad it took us about an hour to get on here because it brought up so much.
Hmm.
And I wanted to get that out there. I wanted to get out my favorite Hulk Hogan moments because this is big, man. This losing Hulk Hogan, which I mean, he was 71 years old. Um, I actually did want to talk about him in TNA too for what he did for TNA. Oh my
Oh
god,
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
he 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 took a fledgling company at the time and put it on a map. Not as much as it wasn't nowhere near the level of WWE at the time, but it was definitely he definitely put it put them in a position to at least get some type of notoriety.
yeah.
By
I agree.
he definitely made TNA more credible by even being there and being involved with it.
Yeah, because at that
Um,
time, old girl she was going bankrupt for real, and
Dixie Carter,
they literally was about to the Daisy chick or whatever her name
Dixie Carter,
was, Dixie Carter. Yeah,
yeah,
they was about to be gone.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, Jared, all them cats was about to be up out of there.
Yeah, but like I said, I wanted to get in here and just talk about the accolades of Hulk Hogan, and like I said, I will say it again. I towards the end, the last 10 years or a decade, maybe even more than a decade,
Right.
Was not a Hulk Hogan Terry Bollea fan, but I am I'm more reasonable. I'm reasonable enough to realize the role he played in my love, which is pro wrestling. And I'm gonna leave it
Hmm.
at that, bro.
I can dig it.
All right, man. See you later on this week for another episode of Main Event Marks. This was a breaking news live Main Event Marks, and watch out for the clips. I will cut this today. It's crazy because I just cut some clips this morning and put them out there. Then this comes out, but
Right.
I'll find a way to sneak all these things in there. But everybody, peace.
Peace.